आजादी के 72 साल बाद भी हमसे हमारे वतन परस्ती का सर्टिफिकेट मांगा जाता है।
नमस्कार। सवाल ये नहीं है मैं क्यों उमर खालिद पे शो कर रहा हूँ। सवाल ये नहीं है कितने लोग देखेंगे। सवाल ये है कि इस देश में सवाल करना गुनाह है। अगर नहीं तो सवाल ये है कैसे एक इंसान बिना ट्रायल, बिना कन्विक्शन 5 साल से सलाखों के पीछे सजा काट रहा है। In the world's largest democracy, justice is often a paradox, a fragile thread weaved through the fabric of power, prejudice, and politics. Today, we delve into the story of Umar Khalid, or let's call him Dr. Umar Khalid, a scholar, an activist, a symbol of dissent, whose 5-year incarceration without trial raises this profound question about the soul of India's jurisprudence.
साथियों, मेरा नाम उमर खालिद जरूर है लेकिन आई एम नॉट अ टेररिस्ट।
Dr. Umar Khalid, a former PhD student at Jawaharlal Nehru University, rose to prominence as a vocal critic of Citizenship Amendment Act and NRC. He was arrested in September 2020 under the Unlawful Prevention Act (UAPA), accused of masterminding a conspiracy that allegedly led to the deadly Delhi riots earlier that year, that is 2020. The riots claimed 53 lives, mostly Muslims, over 700 injured. Yet, the state never proved Umar Khalid's direct role. No weapons recovered, no evidence of violence, only words. His speeches on non-violence and constitutional rights turned into terrorism charges. He, Sharjil Imam, and 16 others were booked under UAPA, a law notorious for its stringent bail provisions. Under UAPA, the burden of proof flips. You are guilty until proven innocent. That's right. The accused must prove their innocence rather than the state proving the guilt. And that's exactly what has happened. The state is yet to prove Umar Khalid's guilt, not even tried. It's been 5 years already and no trial as yet. सरकार के नजर में आप गुनहगार हो। कानून ऐसा है कि आपको साबित करना है कि आप निर्दोष हो। अगर ना कर पाए तो जेल में सरो मरो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, सब चंगासी। This is Khalid's last speech before he was arrested.
अगर आप इस वीडियो को देख रहे हैं, इसका यह मतलब है कि मुझे गिरफ्तार कर लिया गया है। इस वीडियो के जरिए मैं आपको एक संदेश देना चाहता हूं। दिल्ली दंगों में जो दिल्ली पुलिस की कार्रवाई है, उसमें वो दंगाइयों को नहीं पकड़ रहे हैं, जिन्होंने खुलेआम दंगा किया, दंगा भड़काया, पुलिस की मौजूदगी में भड़काया, टीवी कैमरा के सामने भड़काया। हम सबने देखा। उन पे एफआईआर तो दूर की बात, उनको एक बार दिल्ली पुलिस पूछताछ के लिए भी नहीं बुला रही है। वहीं दूसरी तरफ जो सरकार के आलोचक हैं, जो सरकार की नीतियों का और खास तौर से सीए कानून का विरोध कर रहे थे, एनआरसी का विरोध कर रहे थे, उनको झूठे मुकदमों में फंसाया जा रहा है।
No, he wasn't arrested for this video. So for which video was he arrested? Oh, this one.
हम वादा करते हैं 24 तारीख को जब डोनाल्ड ट्रंप हिंदुस्तान आएंगे तो हम ये बताएंगे कि हिंदुस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री और हिंदुस्तान की सरकार हिंदुस्तान को बांटने का काम कर रही है, महात्मा गांधी के उसूलों की धज्जियां उड़ा रही है, और ये बताएंगे कि हिंदुस्तान की आवाम हिंदुस्तान के हुक्मरानों के खिलाफ लड़ रही है। अगर हिंदुस्तान के हुक्मरान देश को बांटना चाहते हैं तो हिंदुस्तान की आवाम देश को जोड़ने के लिए तैयार है। हम तमाम लोग सड़कों पर निकल कर आएंगे। आप लोग निकल कर आएंगे।
That's right, he was arrested for this video. Well, the video is about 40 minutes long. A small 40-second excerpt had gone viral. 40-second excerpt pulled out of context, and that video set the premise for his arrest, according to Delhi police charge sheet. The prosecution alleged that Khalid's speech incited violence, pointing towards WhatsApp chats, meetings as evidence of a larger conspiracy. Yet, critics argue that the case rests on circumstantial evidences. witnesses' testimonies under duress, and a narrative that equates dissent with terrorism. No weapons, no direct involvement in riots, only words spoken in defense of constitutional rights.
हम हिंसा का जवाब हिंसा से नहीं देंगे, हम नफरत का जवाब नफरत से नहीं देंगे। अगर वो नफरतें फैलाएंगे तो हम उसका जवाब प्यार से देंगे। अगर वो डंडा चलाएंगे तो हम तिरंगा उठा के लहराएंगे। अगर वो गोली चलाएंगे तो हम संविधान को हाथ में लेकर अपने हाथ को बुलंद करेंगे। अगर वो जेल में डालेंगे तो सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा गाते गाते हम हंसते हंसते जेल चले जाएंगे, लेकिन इस देश को आपको बर्बाद करने नहीं।
Under UAPA, bail is denied if the court believes that the accusations are prima facie true, a threshold that kept Khalid behind bars despite multiple appeals. This is the court order. On September 2nd, 2025, the Delhi High Court once again rejected his bail, citing the grave nature of his alleged role, whereas the trial crawls at a snail's pace. 5 years, no conviction, no trial commencement. Is this justice or punishment by process? I mean, सवाल अगर लाजमी है तो पूछना सही है। कोर्ट के सामने यह सवाल है, कौन से वीडियो में क्या कह दिया? That can be construed as देश तोड़ने की साजिश रच रहा है उमर खालिद और बाकी सारे लोग। And here's the hypocrisy. When BJP leaders, sitting MPs and ministers gave speeches laced with open hate, nothing happened. Remember Kapil Mishra in Delhi 2020 riots, standing beside police officers, giving a public ultimatum that if roads were not cleared, he would take matters in his own hands? Riots erupted soon after that.
दिल्ली में आग लगी रहे, ये यही चाहते हैं, इसीलिए इन्होंने रास्ते बंद किए, इसीलिए दंगे जैसा माहौल बना रहे हैं। हमारी तरफ से एक भी पत्थर नहीं चला है। डीसीपी साहब हमारे सामने खड़े हैं। मैं आप सबके बिहाफ पे ये बात कह रहा हूँ, ट्रंप के जाने तक तो हम शांति से जा रहे हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद हम आपकी भी नहीं सुनेंगे अगर रास्ते खाली नहीं हुए तो।
Remember Anurag Thakur from a stage in Delhi leading a crowd to chant देश के गद्दारों को, a call for violence.
गद्दारों को गोली मारो, देश के गद्दारों को पीछे तक आवाज आनी चाहिए, गिरिराज जी को सुनाई दे। देश के गद्दारों को, देश के गद्दारों को, देश के गद्दारों को।
Remember Pragya Thakur, a former member of parliament who called Nathuram Godse, Gandhi's assassin, a patriot.
नाथूराम गॉडसे देशभक्त थे, हैं और रहेंगे। ऐसा बोलने उनको आतंकवादी कहने वाले लोग स्वयं के गिरेबान में झांक के देखें। अब की चुनाव में ऐसे लोगों को जवाब दे दिया जाएगा।
Here's another BJP MLA, T. Raja, openly calling Muslims exactly what someone called Narendra Modi in Bihar, and he found that as an insult to every mother, an insult in the country.
ये मेरा बेटा है, बड़ा बेटा। मैं क्या आज नहीं तो कल, अरे जिस दिन भी मैं मरूंगा, मेरी जगह पर ये हिंदुत्व का कार्य करेगा।
Have you forgotten BJP MLA Nitish Rane? Multiple FIRs were registered against him in September 2024 for openly threatening Muslims.
तेरे को जो भाषा में समझता है ना, वो भाषा में धमकी देके जा रहा हूँ। हमारे रामगिरी महाराज के खिलाफ अगर कुछ भी मस्ती तुम लोगों ने किसने भी की, तो तुम्हारे मस्जिदों के अंदर आके चुन चुन के मारेंगे, इतना ध्यान में रखो।
These words shredded the secular fabric of our democracy. Yet, not a single day behind bars. No UAPA, no sedition, no endless trials. Words of hate are free, words of dissent punished like terrorism. Acha, tell me, did police find any weapon from him at the time of the arrest? कोई हथियार मिला उनसे जब उनको अरेस्ट किया गया? Answer is no, कुछ नहीं मिला. Did they arrest him from Pakistan, Saudi, Iran, Bangladesh, Nepal, Uganda, Mexico, Japan, China? No. Police arrested him after questioning him for 11 hours. So he wasn't absconding, and you called him a national threat. We took 3 months to kill 3 terrorists responsible for Pahalgam attack, as was confirmed by Home Minister Amit Shah coincidentally on the day when the parliament was also discussing Pahalgam attack. So it took 3 months to kill them because they were hiding. Umar Khalid wasn't hiding, he wasn't absconding, but this mainstream media projected him as if ye gaddar hai, tukre tukre gang, as deadly as a terrorist.
The dangerous Tukre gang leader Umar Khalid has been arrested. The masterminds are facing the music. The conspirators have been identified and exposed.
Former Jawaharlal Nehru University student Umar Khalid has been arrested in connection with the Delhi riots case.
दिल्ली दंगे के केस में बड़ी गिरफ्तारी हुई है। बीती रात जेएनयू के पूर्व छात्र उमर खालिद को गिरफ्तार किया है।
The media has run a virtual media trial, a real media trial. कोई आदिवासी हो तो उसको माओवादी बोल के, कोई मुसलमान हो तो उसको आतंकवादी बोल के, जिस तरीके से एक सिलसिला चला है और इसी तरीके से मीडिया ट्रायल और पूरा स्टेट अपैरेटस उसके पीछे लगा रहता है। शायद बहुत सारे लोग बेबस होते हैं, उनके लिए बोलने वाले बहुत कम लोग होते हैं, लेकिन भाई साहब आप लोग गलत लोगों से भिड़ गए।
Police claim that he said Andolan khoon mangta hai. That's deemed incitement. Then there is his WhatsApp group membership, Delhi Protest Support Group, where he apparently shared a protest location. WhatsApp chats, right? So let's hold on. This reliance on opaque digital evidence can be deadly and detrimental. Let's remember Riya Chakraborty, the actress, who was arrested soon after Sushant Singh Rajput's death, arrested in September 2020. Like Umar Khalid, she too was arrested in September 2020 amid a media frenzy. Authorities cited incriminating WhatsApp chats, some leaked to media, alleging drug procurement and abetment to suicide. She spent nearly a month in jail before bail, only for CBI to grant her a clean chit in March 2025, nearly 5 years later, finding no evidence of foul play. So if leaked chats can crumble under scrutiny, what about Umar Khalid's unseen messages? This stark contrast underscores how evidentiary thresholds bend with public narrative, leaving one free and another hanging in limbo, prompting us to question, when does presumption of guilt eclipse the right to a fair trial? We spoke with Bonojyotsna Lahiri, good friend of Umar Khalid. Some call her the partner of Umar Khalid, girlfriend of Umar Khalid. But we see her as another Indian, a human being who is fighting for Umar Khalid, who is trying her best with many others for the sake of truth.
I saw your one-word post, injustice.
I would say that sometimes one word stands out as powerful as, long posts of anger and whatever. At that point of time, that was all I could think about when I was in the courtroom and the judges came and they just pronounced in one line that, all the appeals are dismissed, and they just left. And that was it. And everyone left the courtroom, and in 30 seconds the courtroom was empty. And, it felt very hollow at that point of time. We were actually hoping for the order to come sooner because, the order was reserved on 9th of July, and at that point, the lead Justice Naveen Chawla, said that within 4 to 5 days, he pronounced this in court, that within 4 to 5 days we will give the order. So that was 9th July, and yesterday was 2nd September. So it was not within 4 to 5 days. They took quite some time, and then finally it was. They just came and, like I said, in one sentence, they ended the hope for now. I mean, this 5 years, I would say this 5 years had been a journey in hope. So yesterday, for now, temporarily, that there was a stop put on that hope.
It all started with the CAA movement, anti-CAA movement, if I can call it. But CAA is now a law. The government says would be giving a lot of hope to people seeking citizenship here in India. But one of India's own citizen is there behind bars for the past 5 years without trial.
It's not just Umar, but all the citizen anti-CA activists, the equal citizenship activists who are behind bars right now. There are 12 of them who are still behind bars out of 18. So all of them are citizens who are languishing in prison without trial. That is where the criminal part of this comes in, where the jurisprudence and the judiciary and the entire law enforcing system becomes criminal, is because pre-trial detention is something that is denounced all across the world, denounced by every democratic country, every democratic court, that pre-trial detention has to be minimized. You cannot keep a person without trial inside jail. That is against basic human liberty and dignity. Now that in this country has fallen flat, and the judiciary is complicit in it, to ensure pre-trial detention, prolonged detention, because as you know, the trial of this particular case has not started yet, and it's been 5 years. It was not the responsibility of the accused to start the trial. It was the responsibility of the judiciary and the law enforcing agencies to ensure the trial takes place by this time, which has not happened. And but on that ground itself, they should have gotten bail, but they haven't. So yeah, the basic citizenship rights are not being upheld in the country.
So when you say rights of a citizen, do you think in this country rights of a citizen itself has become selective? And do you fear from this kind of a feeling that it is because it's Umar Khalid and not Umar Saha or Umar Lahiri or Umar Datto or Mukherjee, Singh, Kumar? This has happened?
Definitely yes, because see, the anti-CA protests were, one protest where Muslim community, especially Muslim women, were leading the protest, but it was joined by people from all communities, right? And ultimately it became a protest for a democratic country, for the constitution, and there was a lot of people. So what suits the narrative of the ruling class is that age-old Hindu-Muslim narrative, and therefore it is ultimately initially they called a lot of non-Muslim people conspirator, prime, chief conspirator. They were behind the riots and all that, but eventually they only came down to Muslim citizens who were vocal, Muslim citizens who were talking about the anti-CA protest, Muslim citizens who were participating, Muslim citizens who were, many of them were first-time protesters who had taken part in the movement. All of them were implicated, and it was then turned into a conspiracy by the Muslims, as if the riots were a conspiracy by the Muslims to destabilize the country. Now, so the facts of the riots, that the people who were killed in the riots, majority were Muslims, that 7 mosques were completely attacked and 4 of them were completely gutted down. Those facts of the riots were not taken into consideration. It was not taken into consideration the people who went online on Facebook Live and gave call about holy war, sacred youth, dharma yudh ho raha hai, sanataniyo aake join karo. They were not implicated in the conspiracy of the riot. The BJP MLA who gave a call in front of the DCP and in front of the media, Kapil Mishra, everybody knows their name, and the ones who instigated people to take up arms and all that, they were not taken as conspirators of the riots. But people who were talking about CAA, the Muslim citizens who were talking about the CAA, were considered to be the chief conspirator of the riots. And so therefore, yes, definitely, his name, his identity is the burden in this country which can implicate you into a terror case and being branded as a terrorist. like the blacks in America after all these years are, I mean, they still fight their fight of dignity, right? So similarly, in India, it's an unending fight for the Muslims.
Okay. So you think the current regime, the current law, they have all branded Umar Khalid a terrorist?
He is implicated under the most draconian terror law, that is UAPA. So anyone who is implicated in a terror law in this country is like in the mainstream media of this country and all that, they are deemed terrorist. That's how the people see them. That's how the mainstream conscience works.
I was meaning to ask you this question later, but then the role of media, the way media celebrated when Umar Khalid was arrested in September 2020, the kind of campaign they ran, they call it their vindication, impact of their journalism, playing out selective portion of his speech. By the way, I call them liability media,
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
let you know.
I don't think they're media. I think they are propaganda mouthpiece, like Rwanda radio was in Rwanda when the genocide was taking place. So all of them are like that.
Do you think Umar Khalid has also been a victim of mainstream media's propaganda?
Absolutely. This has been right from the beginning. See, Umar was a very unknown, normal student of JNU. It was the mainstream media which villainized him and made him into a public figure. And that's how people came to know about him. And in this case also, in the Delhi riots case, very interestingly, in the evidences, among the evidences of the investigation so-called that the police has done, uh, they have taken a lot of 161, I mean, 161 statements under section 161. Basically, it takes statements that are taken in the police station.
Yeah.
Now, those statements have no legal bearing. Those statements used to have legal bearing under POTA, but since the time POTA has been repealed, even in UAPA, those statements which are made in the police station, they don't have any legal bearing. You cannot use them as evidence in the court, right? Because they are always statements made under intimidation or manipulated statements. So only statements 164 under section 164 that are done in front of the magistrate are considered valid, right? So police nonetheless took a lot of 161 statements, and you would wonder why a public servant would waste so much of time taking those statements meticulously, taking them down and drafting them and filing them in the charge sheet, when ultimately they cannot even use them as evidences in court. But the interesting thing is that later we realized that why they did that, because in this case there are two courts which are parallelly running. One court hardly works, which is the legal court, where the matter is going on for 5 years, but then parallelly there is a court in the media, and a media trial is also going on. And in the media trial, the Lord Goswamis and Lord Shiv Shankars, they sit and they give verdicts. And in their court, these 161 statements are all the evidence. They are proof of guilt. It has no legal bearing. But obviously, they don't care. They don't mention. So you can say whatever and make a person sign, and sign them, make a person sign on a blank paper and then fill whatever as a statement. And then those statements were flaunted regularly in the media, saying that Umar Khalid ne ye bol diya, Sharjil Imam ne ye bol diya. Matlab, they just spawned those statements, did not mention that these are statements taken under section 161. These are not evidences, these are not evidentiary values. They did not make those qualifications and kept rage baiting in the media. And people who obviously do not have knowledge about nuances of the law and what is the difference between 161 and 164, they would think, oh my god, this is what these are the evidences, then obviously तब तो इनको फांसी देना चाहिए, ये तो मतलब चौराहे पे फांसी दो.
सो ये पुलिस के जितने सारे स्टेटमेंट है, आप कह रहे हैं कि सिलेक्टिवली मीडिया के पास लीक किया गया ताकि ये परसेप्शन बिल्ड करने में वो लोग कामयाब हो जाए.
See, the first time the charge sheet was filed by the police, we didn't get the copy of the charge sheet. The defense lawyers did not get the copy of the charge sheet. The accused did not get the copy of the charge sheet, but the charge sheet reached the media. And the media flipped all the pages and straight away went to the 161 statements and started cherry picking and run a narrative about that. That these are the things, new evidences have come, and these are the evidences, shocking evidences surface.
Explosive.
Explosive and all that. So basically
Exclusive.
that's what I'm saying. That rage baiting. Now, how do you get a goddamn exclusive access to charge sheet which has not even reached the accused? And even the court was flabbergasted, and the public prosecutors and all were nonchalant about it. That we don't know how it reached the media. Somehow there was a leak.
I was going through the order, and I find it very interesting. While all along you have been claiming that Umar is innocent, everyone else they're innocent, they have been framed, media had been equally instrumental in framing them. But the court says they have found sufficient material on record to show Umar Khalid masterminded the conspiracy. That's there in para 131. The court also says his role is prima facie grave in the entire conspiracy, involving inflammatory speeches on communal lines to instigate mass mobilization of Muslim community. That's there in para 147. How do you react to these two observations of the court?
I mean, see, one thing is that I cannot comment, I should not comment very in great details about the court order per se, because this matter is still sub judice and we are going to move to Supreme Court soon.
Okay.
So, as the matter is sub judice, I cannot comment on the intricate details of the order. I cannot. Okay, so that is something that the lawyer.
Not a problem. But I ask you this pointed question: did Umar Khalid ever give any inflammatory speech? Did he ever say "Bharat tere tukre honge" or something on those lines?
Okay, so about the speech. Okay, so what happened was he gave a speech in Amravati, Maharashtra, 7 days before the Delhi riots took place, right? And it was a 40 minutes long speech that was given. Now, no one was talking about that speech till in March, after the riots concluded. The first week of March, Amit Malviya, the BJP IT cell head, he posted a 40 seconds clip from that speech, where he said that ये 23 तारीख को जब ट्रंप आएगा तब हम सब वहां पे प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे और हम ये बताएंगे कि इस देश में संविधान लागू नहीं हो रहा है, and that there will be protest when Trump will visit. That was a part of the entire CA narrative that was going on. Okay, that is one date where there will be protest in Delhi, because उस टाइम वो चल रहा था ना कि सब चंगासी and something वो जो चल रहा था, नमस्ते ट्रम्प and hello Modi, and then Modi went and said that सब चंगासी, हिंदुस्तान में सब चंगासी. तो हिंदुस्तान में सब चंगासी नहीं है, हिंदुस्तान में
अभी 50% चंगासी.
हाँ नहीं, मतलब मोदी ने तो बोला था 100% चंगासी, तो
नहीं, अभी तो 50% टैरिफ चंगासी.
हाँ वही, वो तो तब तो बहुत दोस्ती चल रही थी ना ट्रम्प और मोदी में. तो इसीलिए वो जो 40 सेकेंड्स क्लिप उठा के अमित मालविया क्लेम दैट दिस इज द प्रूफ ऑफ द कॉन्स्पिरेसी. ठीक है, कि ये जो अमरावती में बोला था उमर खालिद ने, वो he did not mention Amravati and all. He tried to kind of pass off that this is a speech given in Delhi, right? That 23 तारीख को जब ट्रम्प आएगा तब प्रोटेस्ट होगा. वही प्रोटेस्ट इज द riots. This is what he said. This is the only speech that is there in the charge sheet as the proof of the conspiracy. So ये भारत तेरे टुकड़े होंगे तो उमर ने कभी बोला ही नहीं, और खैर वो 2016 में बोला गया था कि ये बोला है, वो तो कभी मतलब यहाँ पे तो उसका कोई जिक्र ही नहीं आया था. Now that speech has been played in all the courts, in the lower court, in last time we appealed for bail in the higher court, and this time also the entire speech has been played, and that it's a 40-minute speech, and in this speech alone it was said that हम हिंसा का जवाब कभी हिंसा से नहीं देंगे, अगर हमारे ऊपर हमला होता है तभी भी हम पलट के हमला नहीं करेंगे. If that kind of a thing is said in a speech, then it cannot be a call to violence for riots, right? In the charge sheet, interestingly, when the Delhi police has done the minimum investigation, they went to the Republic TV, because they used the Republic TV's clip as the evidence. Then now in Indian court, matlab, over the time the IPC has actually laid on pretty extensive methods and roadmaps to prove something as evidences. So you have to give the source ki kahan se aaya, ye kahan se aaya. So as a source, the first went to Republic TV, and Republic TV's reply to that was, we have picked it up from Amit Malviya's Twitter. So that is the entire, and all these are on record. All these are part of the charge sheet. All these are admissions by the police that the source of this clip is Republic TV, and source of Republic TV is Amit Malviya's tweet. Republic TV was asked that, like, did you record this live, or was there a reaction in the crowd about this, or has that been found in Delhi that this clip was being played? The original clip had some 2000 views in at that point of time, मतलब which was really low कि वहाँ के local कोई टीवी चैनल ने उसको लिया था. तो that's all is there as conspiracy.
I've heard this speech, but what about these WhatsApp chats? Umar Khalid was part of some WhatsApp group where he has shared a location, asking people to congregate. How true are they?
Umar was a part of a WhatsApp group where he had not, see, that is the thing, that is how rumors spread. In that WhatsApp group, Umar had talked twice, okay, had commented, or whatever you say for WhatsApp, had messaged twice. One was shared a location, it was not to asking people to congregate. Someone was saying that in Nizamuddin, where exactly is the anti-CA protest going on, someone else was a speaker, a senior Supreme Court lawyer, he was a speaker there. So he was asking in the group, I'm supposed to speak there, but where exactly is the anti-CA protest taking place? And this was much before the riot happened. I think Advocate Sanjay Hegde was about to speak, and he shared the location saying that come to Nizamuddin, this is where the anti-CA protest is taking place. That is not asking people to congregate for riots. The riots had दूर तक तब riots का कोई scene नहीं था, ये message जब किया गया था. And the second message that Umar had done in that WhatsApp group was actually very funny, which the police later on completely distant and does not talk about it at all. Is Umar was not in Delhi when the riots were taking place. Umar was in Bihar. The anti-CA protests in Bihar had asked him to go to that, to speak in several meetings, and he was there. Before the riots started, he had left Delhi. And when he was in Bihar, a senior policeman called, messaged him, and told Umar that, उमर यार आज यहाँ पे तुम लोग प्रोटेस्ट का कॉल दिए हो, आज ट्रम्प आ रहा है, यहाँ पे सिक्योरिटी का बहुत टाइट वो है, whoever is giving a protest call, please ask them not to come because we will be forced to arrest and all that. ऐसे ही हाई सिक्योरिटी है बिकॉज उसके बीच में दंगा शुरू हो गया था, तो अब दंगा भी शुरू हो गया है, प्लीज आप लोगों को बोलो कि आईटीओ में गैदर ना करें, आज सिक्योरिटी के लिए ठीक नहीं होगा. Umar said, sir, I am not in Delhi. and I did not give a call to this protest. I will convey your message to the people who are trying to gather there, but I cannot guarantee whether they will come or not come. That I cannot guarantee, but I will try. And he conveyed the message to that in that group, saying that a senior police officer called me and he is saying that, you know, let us not gather today. आज situation बहुत volatile है. So this is actually a person with whom the police is conversing, saying that, you know, protest mat karo, and he is forwarding that message to the group, saying that आज मुझे ये पुलिस ने बोला है कि आप gather mat karo. Later, police tried to defend. The police version was that, yeah, we did that intentionally. The police officer messaged him saying that because we wanted to show that how he controls the people, and he is the leader, and that's why the police was trying to establish that. I mean, I don't know. That might sound very weird, but that's what they actually said in court.
But Dr. Lahiri, how do you perceive the judiciary's interpretation of these WhatsApp chats, these charges that Umar Khalid had been a part of a larger conspiracy? He's a mastermind.
See, the judiciary is not. What do I say? The judiciary is not exactly getting into the details of what. Because they are actually, technically speaking, they are supposed to get into the details of questioning the WhatsApp chats and questioning the witness at the stage of trial. Trial has not taken place here, and so far in the bail, twice that what we have seen. In fact, one bail, one legal analyst, Gautam Bhatia, when first time Umar's bail was rejected, he wrote a review of the order, and there he had a very interesting heading. He said that stenographer of the prosecution, like whatever the prosecution has said, the judge has noted that down, and in the order, the judge he's supposed to note down both the arguments, right, both the sides, and then give his pronounce his orders. But what he did was he only recorded the arguments of the prosecution and then gave the order. So the point is, so our judiciary is very confused, it seems, because 6 people have already gotten bail in this matter. Earlier, when the judicial consciousness was at a better place, then then the judiciary actually gave very scathing judgments and gave bail to a few people. So in parity, so all these people, 18 people, are actually charged of the same crimes, right? It's not like the people who are out on bail had less accusations against them. So if they are out on bail, then the other 12 people should also be out on bail. Because now you cannot say, okay, the judicial consciousness was awake at that point of time, and now we have put a lead on our consciousness, and that's why we cannot see parity. Is actually it's against the basic tenets of human rights and Indian jurisprudence.
And would you say the courts are equally party to violating somebody's rights?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for us not to say after 5 years of suffering. Let's not sugarcoat. Okay. Of course, courts are complicit in this violation of human rights.
There is a video clip of an interview of former Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. He gave an interview to Barkhadat. In that interview, he is saying that Umar Khalid withdrew his bail application.
Yeah. He's factually not wrong. Umar did withdraw the bail application from Supreme Court after, I mean, he is in jail. We, the legal team, and us, his friends and family, we kept walking in the corridors of Supreme Court in a loop for about 1 year. And then we saw no point because Supreme Court was not hearing us. Supreme Court kept postponing the hearing, kept changing the bench, kept assigning it to new benches, and kept jumping the order, Same thing that they're doing to Mahesh Raut, same thing that they're doing to Surendra Gadling. So this is not one-off case. Same thing is happening to them as well. We moved around the dusty corridors of Supreme Court for 1 year, and then we decide to change the legal strategy so that the case moves forward, so that at least, with the bail, once again, when you start from the lower court and then go on to higher court, at least it will be heard. We will be heard, and we were heard in the last 1 year. High Court has been hearing us. At least the hearings were going on. In Supreme Court, there was no hearing. So he, D.Y. Chandrachud, as the master of roster who assigns cases to different benches, he should have known better that, that this case is moving on, is not moving at all. And that we spent 1 year, and Umar had to, for us, we were moving around the Supreme Court corridors for a year. Umar was waiting inside the jail to be heard. And every day after the hearing, he called, and I would say that, आज भी नहीं हुआ, 4 हफ्ते बाद का डेट मिला है.
So this Tariq pe Tariq was going on when D.Y. Chandrachud was the Chief Justice.
Yes, exactly. It feels tiring at times. I will lie if I tell you that, this is not exhausting. I will lie if I tell you that this doesn't take a toll on us mentally or physically. But being scared is not an option. Being broken is not an option.
How is Umar Khalid doing? When did you meet him last?
I met him yesterday morning. Before the order came out, I went for the mulaqat in Tihar. And I have spoken to him over telephone after that. He called twice. After the order came out, he called once. And today also he called once. And he is absolutely fine. He is absolutely fine. And he is like, his spirits are completely here. He said, हाँ ठीक है. Supreme Court का तैयारी करते हैं और वो मतलब so he has been reading a lot, but he has not been writing. So he had told me that if the bail gets rejected, I'll start the writing, because we were this seeking bail for the last 5 years. It was like a perpetual kind of a lingering hope that this will end anytime and he will come out. The trial definitely will go on for a long time. A case like this, the trials go on for a long time, but this pre-trial detention will end and he'll come out. And therefore he was not investing in writing, but he said that now I'll start writing also.
कभी आप लोगों पे प्रेशर नहीं आया कि आप भी भक्त बन जाओ तो सब कुछ सही हो जाएगा, चंगा सी हो?
वो प्रेशर आने का जरूरत नहीं होता है. वो प्रेशर वैसे कोई बोलता नहीं है. वो प्रेशर मतलब दैट ऑप्शन इज ऑलवेज देयर. मतलब जितने लोगों को आप देखे हो कि भक्त बन गया है, ऐसा नहीं कि उसको कोई अप्रोच किया and then he went over or she went over to the other side. Most people actually choose to go because that side is always there. I mean, it just takes one step to go over to that side and start doing puja of the government and start speaking in favor of the government and be uncritical and be a bhakt. It just takes one step. We don't choose to take that step.
Even after spending 5 years behind bars?
50 years, doesn't matter. That Umar, एक बार मैं उमर को मजाक में बोल रहा था कि यार, this was last year. I said that तू देख ले, बहुत लोग भक्त बन रहा है. मतलब हमारी कुछ ओल्ड दोस्त, कुछ पुराने दोस्त जो भक्त बन गया, वो ऑप्शन है हमेशा. वो बोला यार 4 साल बीत गया जेल में और 40 साल बिता लेंगे, लेकिन ये नहीं हो पाएगा. So you said 5 years. We are prepared for 40. I don't think I will live for more than 40 years. So that is beyond that. We don't have to worry.
But what do you earn out of it? By this resistance, what do you earn out of it?
Conscience. Your conscience is clear, man. I mean, that's a lot of. That's all that we live for, right? I mean.
From behind bars, Khalid once wrote, "Half a decade has passed. That's time enough to do a PhD, get married, have a child. But is it time enough for our release?" These words, poetic in their profundity, reveal a man grappling with isolation, yet nurturing fragile optimism amid systemic injustice. This isn't just Umar Khalid's story, this is India's story. A nation that says Satyameva Jayate, truth alone triumphs. But when dissent is branded as terror, when silence becomes safer than speech, truth is the first casualty. True threats to a nation are not voices of dissent, but the silence that follows their suppression. So ask yourself, what kind of India do you want? One where justice is equal for all, or one where asking question is the biggest crime? I'm not saying Umar Khalid is innocent, but सबूत तो लाओ, कोर्ट के सामने सबूत तो दो।
अरे एक सबूत तो लाओ। पहली बात तो ये करने से कुछ होता नहीं, अगर किया भी होता, लेकिन कोई सबूत, कोई सुनवाई और कोई कुछ वो नहीं है। मतलब शर्म इन लोगों को बिल्कुल नहीं आती।
अगर उमर खालिद टेररिस्ट है, सबूत तो दो। अगर वो गद्दार है, सबूत तो दिखाओ। अगर वो देश तोड़ने की काम कर रहा था, सबूत तो दो। आप ही को मान लेंगे, लेकिन सबूत तो दो। जब तक सबूत नहीं, तब तक सवाल सही। Ask yourself, what kind of India do you want? One where justice is equal for all, or one where asking questions is the biggest crime? Can words become weapons deadlier than deeds? Ask yourself. Till then, Satyameva Jayate.